I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which it stands, one nation under with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, Dawn. Appreciate it.
Concerned with the way it said first year prices. I'm not quite sure what that means, if that's supposed to go up or not. Also, if all the senior citizens are free and it's free for families who can't afford it, blah, 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 how's that sustainable? Or is the city allowed to do fundraising like the Y? The Y is a nonprofit. It can do fundraising. I'm not voting for a tax increase for this. So I don't know how that's sustainable. And if we don't vote in a tax hike and you guys can't do fundraising, how is that affordable for the city if everybody's free? How you making an income? So that's my question as a concerned citizen. And then last time it was free, for the short time it was free that the city ran it. It was dirty. The equipment was damaged because people don't take care of things when it's free. I'm sorry. People are people. They're going to people. Sometimes people don't take care of things when it's free. Also, classes and programs. SilverSneakers is a nationwide recognized program. It's not entitled just to the Y, but I will say what is entitled to the Y is Lainey, who has been there for 16 years. She is irreplaceable. There is no one else on earth like Lainey. So if you have not called Lainey and you don't have Lainey in your pocket, you got a problem. There are 17 hours of classes offered at the Y. Have you guys called any of those instructors? And then the Special Olympics, have you talked to them? Because I brought that up last time. I'd hate to see that discontinued there for their training and stuff. Have you talked to the homeschool and the PE? Because we do all that too at the Y. That wasn't mentioned in your list. And again, I'm an instructor. I don't think anybody's reached out to me to ask me any questions or if I'd worked for the city. Also, I was concerned with the some open gym and pool time. I don't like the way that was worded. And again, if it's after dark, citizens aren't driving to it, okay? Senior citizens, they can't get there. They don't drive after dark. I'm 51. I don't drive after dark hardly anymore. You brought up the golf center. That's great. I don't golf. What benefit is that to me? If you don't have classes at the Y, that is no benefit to me. Again, I'm not going to pay membership for something that doesn't benefit me. And if there ain't classes there, and I don't have, programs there to help me through things, I'm not going to be there. So again, there goes your income. You're talking about the hours. You're at literally, it's the same weekly hours you guys are talking about. You're maybe adding 3 hours. Just for your information, the walking trail does not close at 5 o'clock when the Civic Center does. The Y locks that up every night at 8 o'clock when they leave. If you put carpet in some of those rooms, you cannot have fitness classes in there. Somebody going to break a knee. Because they're going to go this way and their knee's going to go that way, okay? No carpet in those rooms. That's a horrible idea. Summer day camp. You talked about those kids need to be outside. You are correct. But what if it's 110 degrees all summer like it's been this summer? I don't want my kid outside. Also, the state of Missouri pays the Y for a lot of those kids to be there and be paid for that. Those kids aren't going to go. Also, again, back to the fundraising, are you going to do like a senior prom? Things like that. Also, is the city prepared to cover the instructor music licenses? Liability if somebody gets hurt in those classes? Are you paying all your staff and stuff for the CPR, AED, BLS training? I didn't hear any of that in that proposal. The final question is, I want to know what date the Y's coming to present because I want to be here. Because last time I checked, that had not been set up. And again, I emailed every one of you on the city council member, including the mayor and city administrator, with a bunch of questions, and not a single person responded to me. It's been over 30 days. You're supposed to be transparent. I would like that.
What email did you use?
Hey, Gabriel.
I did not receive that email.
Let's see, David Essig.
You pronounced it right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I typed something up here, and I guess I'm just going to kind of go off of my gut instinct here. So,
Hold on, just a second. Can you state name and address, and then just for the record?
Yeah,
Sorry.
My
Thank
name
you.
is David Essig. I live at 25446 Salem Drive here in Cleveland County. I moved here about 4 years ago from a Democratic state, got my family away from all the surveillance, the high taxes, the high crime. I picked Lebanon and Laclede County. It fit the bill for just a place that I could homestead, grow my family, and my kids are doing great here, so I absolutely love it. But as a retired automotive technician and a GSE technician in automotive, I just wanted to explain a little bit about the flock system here. There's always two sides to every story, and what we're doing here is with Flock. Yes, Flock does a lot of good things, but Flock also, because it is an AI and it's learning, and we're all teaching AI, that's making AI smart. So we need to always realize there's two sides to every story. Yes, the police department gets to use it. It solves crimes. It's great. And one of the big things that people are worrying about was tracking. Well, as an automotive technician, I've gone into tracking in automobile cars. And a lot of people don't realize that their car is tracked and monitored for 10 years through the National Highway Safety Institute. So there is a log on your vehicles that is in a different entity. It's not part of Flock, but when you combine the two together, there is a system out there that actually monitors everything about where you go, who's in your car, when the door opens. I mean, I could pull up information on cars that will just blow your mind away. I can go to the junkyard and get information off of cars from 3 years ago. So when there's always a tracking system, we're teaching AI, and the downside to this is we're making AI stronger, but are we doing it in a respectful manner? Something that's going to be for the future for our children. Again, I'm glad that, the Flock is catching bad people, but when you take all this AI data together, you've got to really watch what we're doing here. Another thing is when the police department says that they destroy the evidence after 30 days for the photos and everything that's up in the cloud. I have a really brilliant 15-year-old son, built his first server at 14 years old. He can take any hard drive that you deleted or formatted or whatever. He can get all the photos off of it. He knows how to do that. At 14, he was doing this. So to sit here and say that, the evidence is just gone or we just get rid of it, I'm going to call it a lie, because it's always there somewhere. Somebody at some time will be able to pick it up. So I'm just saying, just remember two sides of a story. Yes, we could be doing good with Flock, but on the other end with automobile cars, they're tracking, everything's tracking. We have to be responsible when it comes to AI. So thank you again for all you do. Thank you to the police department for catching everyone that you do. And thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, David. Phyllis Massey.
Hi, guys. I'm Phyllis Massey. I live on Grace Road for the last 18 years. Before that, I lived in the city. I consider myself old. I'm a retired R3 district school teacher. The mayor was one of my former students. I won't give you any details about it.
I remember being a really good one.
I know. My husband was a downtown business owner for 40 years with the Reloaders Gun and Pawn. My parents were born here. All my grandparents were born here. All my great-grandparents were born here. And it goes back and back and back. Lebanon means a lot to me. And the Cowan Center means a lot to me. When Kenny Cowan first proposed to build the Civic Center, he went out and asked people for donations. I'm very proud to say that the Mills family and my family donated the major portion of the land that the Civic Center sits on. That was my playground when I grew up. That's where I met my husband when I was 5 years old. So it means a lot to me. I go to the Y every day, 5 days a week, a lot of times on Saturdays. I know what goes on at the Y. I went when the city ran the facility, and there's no comparison now of what it was when the city ran it. The Y's a great, great place. Yes, they're a national charity. Yes, we belong to a regional organization. So no, all the money does not stay here in Lebanon, but neither does it for other national charities that are here, such as the Red Cross. The city has been very, very generous with local charities. They allow them to use the Cowan Center facilities for an extremely, unbelievably low price. And they should. Our community is judged by how it treats its nonprofits and how it treats its families. Physical responsibility is important, but the value that the Y brings to our local family, our churches, and our senior far outweighs the cost of their rent. The Y is in a better position to offer programs than the city at the moment. Displacing the Y risks damaging our local town's reputation, saying we do not support our community organizations that make our city a great, great place to live. I really did like the idea of using the exhibition hall for league play. In my younger years, we used the field house, and league play was going on all the time. That could be happening right now in the exhibition hall. The city could be offering that right now because it's not being used, and it would have nothing to do with the Y. Thanks, guys. I think you're all doing a great job, and I really do appreciate you and the heartless job that you have. So, good luck.
Thank you, Phyllis. Donna Singh.
My name's Donna Singh, 424 Ponderosa Court in Lebanon, and I'm going to be like a bad penny and keep on showing up here talking about the Y. And I'm going to probably reiterate some things that had been said, but I didn't know what they all were going to say when they talked. Number one is, why not just raise the rent for the Y and do another lease for a couple of years and see how that goes? I wasn't here when I don't know anything about why the rent was lowered or whatever, but why not go back to the Y and say, hey, y'all, you need to pay more rent for 2 years. We'll redo after that. Number two, staffing problems. You've already said that you don't know if you're going to have enough staff to offer all the pie in the sky stuff that you want to offer. So what if you take it over and you don't have staff? They don't want to come work for the city. What happens to all of our senior citizens programs, our exercise classes? Laney, we can't live without Laney. I told you last time you guys need to come on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Come to a SilverSneakers class. See what goes on. We're not out there just doing this. We're socializing. We're moving our knees. We're moving our brains. You should see what she does to us. And like the lady said, why can't you utilize the rest of the building that the Y doesn't use right now? You can use the exhibition hall. We don't go in there. Why can't you have your programs that you're saying you want to have? Use the part that the Y is not using right now. Giving up on a net rental income for a huge loss makes no sense. I've been an accountant all my life, and that just, it doesn't make sense what you are proposing to not charge senior citizens from wherever. And I don't understand the bureaucracy involved to bill our insurance for what they pay. Why not use the insurance? If you're going to take it over, why don't you at least get the insurance coming in to pay our dues? So I don't understand that at all. That's about all the notes that I took down from y'all. Thank you for the presentation. It was a great presentation. A lot of work went into it. I want you to seriously consider before you make that decision. You're going to be hurting a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of senior citizens that will go to some other fitness center in town, get them to accept SilverSneakers, give classes, and they're going to get our dues. They're going to get us, and y'all are going to lose a lot of people. So anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Don.
Evening, gentlemen. My name is Chuck Terrell. I live at 25626 Oak Bend Drive in Lebanon. And a couple things. The estimates that were given by the city are okay, but it says for 1 year. You have no clue what's going to happen after that. Now, the other part I find kind of crazy is the city and the YMCA. Why don't we talk? Why aren't we sharing ideas together so that, as a lot of the people have stated, what happens if we make this a collaborative effort to where it works together instead of just tearing one out and throwing the other one in, that we don't know what's going to happen? We have several classes already set up. We have several people already set up working at things, okay? And we're going to take that and we're going to say, oh no, that's just not good enough. We're not making, well, if it's going to cost us $200,000 a year, never get it back, what do we pay right now that we never get back a year at the Civic Center? Anybody got an idea? What do we pay a year that we don't get back? How much do we pay every year? I mean, we're saying flat out, that's $200,000 gone, and we're just going to eat it. But the thing is, when a senior citizen or anybody comes into the gym, guess what they do? They stop in town. They go to a business. They take care of business while they're here. And does that make money for the rest of the city? Absolutely. So why can't we, and why don't we? We've got September, October, November, December for the YMCA and the city to talk and put together something that would maybe actually work. It's neat to see government and civilians working together to make something happen, because most of the time city or government does not put together a great program. We've seen it where? Oh, government. Oh, yeah. Hardly ever puts things together that are absolute. And most business people know how to put something together and have it work, you know, and it's been working. I don't know what the shortfall is for the YMCA. I have no clue. But you guys, do you know what the shortfall is every year on the YMCA? I see a bunch of blank faces. You don't know what the shortfall is on the YMCA every year. It's something that if we're going to do it, why don't we know what's going on? Why don't we see those projections? Why don't we see that going on? It's funny how Lebanon is a good community. I went out to the golf course and I talked with some people out there and they said, you guys are doing a good job trying to put this together, trying to make this work. Okay. And I think that's absolute. And again, I said it last time, I've seen you guys put some good things together with downtown, with all the things that you're working at and doing things. But this just seems like it's a shotgun approach and we're just going to blow it up and then hopefully it falls back into place. We don't have any specifics. We've got, maybe this is the year, the first year it'll work this way. What happens after that first year? We know the YMCA has been doing this for a long time. We know they've made X amount and they make X amount of things and programs for people to work at and to deal with. My time's up.
Yeah, I got to cut you off. Sorry.
Not a problem.
There's quite a few more people to get to.
I
Sorry.
appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it. Judy Kyle?
Sorry. I think I ran over several people getting over here. Judy Kyle, 909 Castle Rock Avenue, Lebanon. Mayor Carr and gentlemen of the City Council, I just want to thank you for all the work that you do and the things that you do for the city first. I'm here about the YMCA. I'll just tell you, I recently retired at the end of June, and I have started going to the YMCA. And I have to tell you, I was shocked to see all the people trying to find a parking space to get in, having to walk from the trees to get in. I was shocked at how many people are using the YMCA every day because I was at work, so I didn't know. But it's amazing. The class that I'm going to is just amazing. Of course, it's Lainey's. She is a very good teacher. And I think what I am concerned about is, would we have the same quality if the city takes it over? I'm not sure if the weights and the weight equipment, is that the YMCA's or is that ours? It's ours. What about all the equipment for SilverSneakers? That's probably the Y. So all of that would have to be purchased if you went back into that program. You're talking about keeping the programs, but do you really know the expense of keeping those programs? Because there's a lot of equipment that we use in that class alone. So, and it would be a one-time purchase, but at the same time, that's going to be part of the negatives and the positives that you're going to have to put into this. So I've always heard that if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. And I see, as a community member, a tremendous following for the Y and a tremendous following for what we're doing there. And the people that are getting the benefits of it are amazing. And it is a lot of us that are older during the day. And then, of course, the kiddos during the summer season. So you really need to put that into focus before you come in and you go ahead and put together a program that maybe we won't go to. My insurance is paying for me to go.
Amen.
And if the city is not willing to do that, I don't know that I'll go. I mean, there's a lot of other places out there that I can go. Believe me, we have a ton of workout places. So I just wanted to put that little bee in your bonnet too, because that is a concern for a lot of people, is the insurance. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. Laura Valente. Laura Valente. There she is. She was hiding.
Hi, my name is Laura Valenti, and I live at 25698 Misty View Drive, aka by Bennett Spring. And gosh, I have listening to these other people has just brought forth so many other questions. But I guess one of my first questions is, how many people, how many of you are active participating members at the YMCA? That's kind of what I thought, you know, and I think that makes a big difference. First of all, I worked for the YMCA back when I was a teenager in St. Louis. The YMCA has a history, 60 to 80 years of managing swimming pools, gym programs, and this sort of thing. They know what they're doing. They've got the experience behind them. I started swimming at the YMCA regularly over 20 years ago. I was running the county jail, and the stress of the job was killing me. And I told my husband I have to find something to do to relieve this stress, or I'm going to murder somebody. And it probably wasn't going to be a prisoner. It was probably going to be one of the 18 jailers that had running the place. So I started swimming. Every morning I was over there at 6 o'clock in the morning. And to this day, I still go over and swim a half a mile a couple of times a week. And it does relieve the stress, and it keeps me going. You know, that's the trick when you start to get to my age. You got to keep moving. But hiring lifeguards, keeping the place running, keeping the chemistry running, et cetera, is a major job. And as far as hiring lifeguards right now, you've probably heard that, you know, it's difficult. I'm sure any of you that have anything to do with the management of Boswell know that too. It has to do with population dynamics. And we are the last of the baby boomers, and the population has dropped tremendously in terms of how many kids our kids have, et cetera. And there's just not as many kids out there taking the summer jobs, et cetera, et cetera. That is a major concern. I realize that. And it's something that the YMCA grapples with every day, just hiring enough kids to run these programs, to be the lifeguards, et cetera. I remember when the city was managing the pool before the YMCA took it over. And I got to tell you, it wasn't good. It wasn't well run. It wasn't well managed. Owned, whatever. 40 years, and he knows what I'm talking about, is about the limit. And part of it is the filtering systems. You take a filtering system right now in a pool that's 30 years old, and you try to add to it, fix it, etc. Nowadays, they've got computer parts and everything. One from 30 years ago did not. So you got to replace the whole system. Now you broke, don't fix it. That's exactly what you're dealing with here. I cannot.
I got to cut you off. Sorry, your time's expired here. So, and I got a long list.
Imagine that we're going to make a big difference financially in what you're saying. You know, not worth it. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah Elder.
Hello. And the Y is going to stop on the 30th of June, and then July 1st is the city. How is that when you're going to have to obviously have some kind of time to roll it all over, take all the YMCA stuff down, remove the cardio equipment that the YMCA owns and replace that, by the way. A majority of our senior citizens use the majority of that cardio equipment for therapy and rehab, cardiac rehab being the main one. That's a cardio equipment piece that will need to be replaced. YMCA owns that. So there will have to be a transition. There's no way you guys can stop on the 30th and then be in operation on the 1st. It's not possible. So would like to see if you guys could look into that a little bit. Also this year, the YMCA is actually celebrating 175 years as a nationwide organization. So obviously they have tons of experience in this. One of the things as a member that I appreciate is I can use my YMCA membership no matter where I go in the US. If I'm going on vacation, I can use that. Which brings me to the point of the people who are coming in to visit the lake are coming to our Y. So not only does that bring in people to the Y, but that's bringing what Troy said earlier, economic benefit. When these people are coming, they're getting hungry after they work out. Where are they going to go? They're going to stop at our local places here. Where are they going to shop? They're going to shop at our local places here. Being a nationwide organization is bringing those people into Lebanon and helping with the economic benefit. So just a couple things to consider. Another thing is too, when I first moved here, I looked for a gym. There's so many gyms. Why have another gym? There's 15,000 gyms in this town. There's only one YMCA. Thank you.
Thank you. Barb Trimper. Barb Trimper.
Yes, hi.
Hey.
I really can't reiterate Barbara Tremper, 319 Redemption Lane. I really can't reiterate what folks have said here today. There are so many concerns. I can only come from that health perspective because I'm a nurse practitioner. I can't tell you how many people benefit from this. And we have seniors that are very, 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 very ill, but they're there, they're doing it. Lainey is extremely professional. I have been doing exercise. I've been a nurse practitioner for years, and she knows her physiology. So, I mean, when she does a class, no one in that class is going to be hurt because they can't do something properly. So I'm here to support the rest of the folks here. I use the Y. I'm so very, very grateful for the staff. I'm very grateful for the professionalism. And it means a lot to a lot of people, obviously. So thanks. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Kyle Trent.
Good evening, Council. Kyle Trent, 25377 Pepper Ridge Lane. I'm really glad to see these new protections around ALPRs. This new ordinance hits many of my concerns. However, it's important to remember that there's many fundamental issues with Flock that the ordinance can't address. Take what Wired exposed just this past week. Flock has been quietly building an AI tool called OS Investigate that lets officers search for people by their driving patterns alone. No plate, name, or crime needed to start. Public safety can just search for terms like car that visited 3 gas stations between 1 and 5 a.m. This is the biggest issue with tonight's ordinance. It outlines how our PD should be using the ALPRs, but it does nothing about the ALPR vendor themselves. You may have wondered, where did Wired get this copy of OS Investigate? Wired reporters reconstructed it from files sitting exposed on Flock's public login pages, a questionable design choice. Trusting this private company with poor security track record with the whereabouts of our citizens is questionable at best. Another fun thing about private companies, they're always looking for a return on their investors. This means more updates, more tech, and more push towards mass surveillance. Through this, we very slowly shift our views on what's acceptable. This is called mission creep. It's an effect that's much faster when a return is expected year over year. This is exactly what we see with OS Investigate. We're asking the council to look at the Flock contract and look at the risks of the system and listen to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Brenda Anthony.
I'm here, but I wasn't going to speak.
Okay. Well, thanks for signing your name, though. David Oberdrecht. Is that right? Oberdieck. I try.
Yeah, David Oberdeek from 1300A Kent Drive, Lebanon. As far as the why goes, just want to reiterate a common theme, the difference between the gym before the Y and not after the Y is like a big concern of mine because it was a dramatic difference. Can city government, y'all are great, but can they keep that up? Another thing, during the presentation, appreciate that. A lot of work, I'm sure, went into it, talking about the possibility, just imagining moving that outdoor pool to the Cowan Civic Center may be a great idea. But I just think we're setting ourselves up for trouble with the totality. Totalitarians.
wanted to say that I agree with David and I agree with Kyle about what they had, I think it was Kyle, about what they had to say about Flock. Does info go to Flock Safety, which is the parent company? Can anyone answer that for me? Does our info go to Flock Safety? Okay.
Yes.
What happens to that info if everything goes there? They're all saying that's a real problem. Our info is in somewhere in Tennessee. That's a real problem. Our info is in somewhere in Tennessee. And that is a real, and you talked about 4 wins. Well, you talked about more than that, but the wins weren't really 4 wins. Well, you talked about more than that, but the wins weren't really in Lebanon. The wins were all around the country. And if you pay any attention to what's going on in the counties around mid-Missouri, other cities are getting rid of Flock because people are not happy with it. We, as the gentleman before me said, we really need to keep government out of our business. There's, so that's pretty much what I have to say. But I appreciate what you're doing, but I don't like Flock.
Thank you, Kathy. Mary Keppel?
Hi, I'm Mary Capel, 703 Eastmont in Lebanon. One of the things that drew me to Lebanon was the program for the YMCA and the programs that Lebanon puts forth for seniors. I moved here 7 years ago. Obviously, I was already bordering on the senior. And that was one of my primary reasons for moving here when I researched the area and what it had to offer me. And I haven't regretted it. I've been a member of the Y before I moved here. And of course, I joined as soon as I came here. And one of the things I like about the program at the Y, I started out doing the water aerobics, and I did that for several years. But then I had some medical issues, and I wasn't able to get as much benefit out of the water aerobics. So I started going to the SilverSneakers. And one of the benefits that you may not be aware of is in the SilverSneakers, the way that Lainey runs the program, you go at your own rate. So she offers several options. So if you can't do the full exercise, she offers options of other things that you can do to get the same benefits. And it actually, when I first came back after I had my medical issue, I wasn't able to stand and do a lot of the exercises. And so she offers different options of ways that you can do it. So I have gradually, I built my strength back up, my mobility and my balance issues, and got to where now I can do almost all the exercises as the normal exercise, not the option. But it's not just something that if you go to a regular gym, they're going to offer you a program and you're going to do their program. But this is so much more than that because it offers the options for people with disabilities and health issues that they can go at their own pace and gradually build up their strength and mobility and eventually be able to do, the things that you want to be able to do, like even being able to stand up without holding on to anything. There's just a lot more to the exercise programs for the SilverSneakers than just a regular gym class that you go and an instructor gets up and you just do whatever they tell you to do. So I do just want to say that you need to look at that as a factor also, that a regular program is not going to be the same as what we do in SilverSneakers. And I'm very thankful for what programs that we do have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Is it Jen Hyde? Jen? Is it Hyde? Hyde?
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Jennifer Hyde. I live at 16300 Kansas Road out in Eldridge. I've been going to the YMCA on and off for 9 years. I have a sunlight disorder where I cannot be in the sunlight, so exercising outside doesn't happen. I can't physically sweat, so exercise outside of a pool is very dangerous for me. I've done Lainey's classes. I've done April's classes. Tried April's outside of Aqua Zumba. Her land Zumba is like, don't do that again. You're going to hurt yourself. Is a city prepared to have, personal trainers like Mike, trainers like Lainey and April who are going to be able to help people who are like me, who have to have special programs to do, prepared to people who have special needs, disabilities, elderly people who have injuries? Are you prepared to pay for those instructors to get classes? Are you prepared to, offer something to replace a summer camp? And what cost is that going to cost these families when it's paid for by the state as at this point in time? Are you going to pay for background checks for all the staff members, all the instructors, to make sure our children are protected? Is this stuff that you guys are ready to be taking over? Because it is concerning the community. Take the passes Sarah's offered you. Go get with the community. Do classes with us. At this point, we don't even care if you're doing it on our time at work because we want you to see what we actually experience as a community. You're like tearing apart a community almost doing what you guys are doing. I'm not going to sit here and, beat a dead horse in the ground, but it is so important for us to keep these organizations, these programs. Are you prepared to step up and support other nonprofits like the YMCA does? Do you know that they do a food drive, bring a can of food in for L Life? Are you guys going to take that over every year? It's not just the YMCA. This is going to affect other organizations in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Dennis Manning.
Hi, good evening. My name's Dennis Manning. You can just have a seat and wait. My wife Sheila and I own the property at 25641 Ortega Drive, corner of Goldenwood Road. You guys probably know that. We moved to Lebanon to build a business and to retire here. That was the plan. We've been met with the most unresponsive government I have ever had the misfortune of dealing with. Looking at every one of you. And to the AI thing, I don't know if anybody has really called in an expert on AI security to testify on the opposite of what the gentleman had to say. I'm that AI security expert. I'm probably the aforementioned expert in town, by the way. I haven't had anybody call me. So let's all start. I was pretty frustrated. I told myself it was a misunderstanding, all the flooding and stuff, and something that a phone call would fix. Since then, our property continues to flood. Cuts us off from the acreage we bought, what we came here to build. So as I said, I was frustrated. Now I'm done being frustrated. I'm fucking pissed. I have every right to say so and to seek redress tonight under the First Amendment of the Constitution and because of your lack of accountability. So I'm going to ask some of you guys directly, rhetorically, of course. Mr. Shockley goes first. He's the one that makes me the angriest. We had already emailed the city, and he comes out aggressive and talks to us like we're some kind of, like it's some kind of intimidation tactic.
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
You will direct all your comments.
Okay, I'll direct it to the council.
Thank you.
So his intimidation tactics didn't work, and they don't work tonight either. Nobody came out, nobody called, nobody in the Parks Department did anything. Mr. Schulte, the same thing. I called him last year, got him on the phone. He admitted that the staff never did the stormwater studies. Told me I'd have to go back. That was 15 months ago. I'm still waiting. I called again myself August 4th, left a voicemail. Still waiting. Mayor Carr, you personally received a certified letter on the July 21st, the second one on August the 4th, demanding a response for within 5 business days. No response. But you're the mayor of the city. And that makes you its chief executive and the one that's supposed to be represented this city in court, the one this whole council answers to before any voters get a say. Everything I described tonight happened on your watch, under your administration, and you didn't answer for any of it or any of my communications. This lady back here, she's a witness that you guys don't understand what a phone or email is. Some of the younger ones might want to teach some of the older ones how to do this. So here's what it tells me. It's a choice, not an oversight. I don't have very much time because you guys are going to cut me off. This is devastating to us and to the community. I didn't want to be here tonight. And I didn't want to have to sue my own city just to get a response. But every door I knocked on politely stayed shut. I used the one door that legally has to open. We have filed a federal suit in the city against the city of Lebanon in the United States District Court for the Western District of Missouri. And Mayor Carr, here's your papers. I'm asking this to be put on public record and that the city was asked over and over by name, in writing, in person, and by phone, and simply did not answer. You work for us. Start acting like it.
Thank you, Dennis. Dustin Price.
Hello, members of council. I've worked with some of you before, some in high school, some not. First, I want to express as a student how fearful this bullshit with Flock is that you don't understand. As a student in IT, that is scary because you do not understand what is capable. No offense. Did any of you look up Flock before you signed that contract? How many? I want to know. Did any of you? Exactly. Blank faces. You didn't know crap about the company. You still don't. Wired released information that they had to obtain by getting into Flock. And guess what happened? They came out and they released all of this information. The biggest one, they're coming out with a database that they can just track you. How is that okay? I am mad, not only at you, at myself, for not doing my civic duty and showing up at that council when you and all of you on this side voted for it. No offense, not trying to be rude, but you have to understand. This scares me because I have been a victim of police brutality in this town. I've been diagnosed with PTSD because of it. And it is fearful because I did nothing wrong. I am an upstanding citizen. I do my best. I try. Is that not all that you're supposed to do to make the American dream happen? This is not my American dream at all. Never will be. And he can say that it's not tracked. He can say that all day, every day. You saw the PowerPoint. You saw it. It's crystal clear in some points of town, is it not? So if we add more, what is to say that we can't be tracked everywhere? Right now, we only have, like, I think 15, 16 up right now. 30, even more than I thought. Because the last I knew, there was only actually so many active. But 30, that's outrageous. Because we only got to saw data from, like, I think 20 of them. So you don't even get the 10 other cameras. You don't get to see a full picture. No offense. Thank you, Chief, for being so transparent. I appreciate that. And I also appreciate the fact that he wants to work with DFLOC to protect the citizens as much as he can. But he does not even know about FLOC. He does not know the computer side. He does not know how dangerous that this can be. You could weaponize your police force. How is that okay? We've hit Hitler type stuff. We are moving toward an authoritarian government, and it is not okay. That's my piece. You have a great night.
Thank you, Dustin. Charlene Reagan. Charlene Reagan.
Hello, I'm Charlene Reagan, Promise Drive in Lebanon. First, I came up to speak about FLOC, but I want to say just on the YMCA topic, our elderly sacrificed and took care of all of us, and we need to do better for them. We need to take care of them. In America, we have gone too far. We put our elderly away in nursing homes and care facilities. We're a small business owner, and it's a fitness center. And I can't tell you, my husband literally created a class for the elderly. And the balance, the posture, one fall can change your whole life. Everything about it. So that's what I have to say about that. I hope we can save the why, because it helps our elderly and our young. So, hunters. We live in Missouri, a lot of hunters here. What are the trail cams used for? For identifying, tracking, and killing. We have 30 flock cameras. I didn't know. I look for them. I'm a law-abiding citizen. You know why laws work? Because they make sense to the citizens. That's why laws work. I feel like we're trading our freedom for a false sense of security. And it's really concerning. There's a lot of really creative, I come from contracts, and I understand how contracts can be so creatively written. Just look at when we vote, look at what we vote on and how they're really creative. They sound fabulous. But contracts and terms, they're all subject to interpretation. I can interpret it one way, you can another, police department can another, flock can. We all know, I hope we all know about tech and that it can be hacked. Try Hack Me. Anybody been on Try Hack Me? Young people? My son is also he builds computers. He has a server. He's created a server so that he's server god in our room, in our TV room, in fact. And patches, upgrades, server, software upgrades. So maybe today, what data applies? But what about in 1 year when a patch has come out and now it's Missouri-wide, it's nationwide, it's district-wide? I don't want to sound Hunger Games-ish, but starting to feel a little Hunger Game-ish. We have to be careful what data we're collecting on our free citizens. You know, I was created by God. And just like my cats, no one governs me. I govern myself. And I actually think of elected representatives not as my leader, but as my voice. And I hope you guys would listen to the people and be our voice and not try to be our leaders, because I lead myself. And I'm a smart person. I think things through, I research. And I think a lot of people here, we're talking, and I hope you guys will listen to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. That's all the public comments we had signed in for tonight.
Mr. Carr, may I speak real quick?
No, I'm sorry. We're way over time, and if you didn't sign in, we'll be back the 24th of September. All right, so now we're going to move on to discussions and presentations, and I have a proclamation tonight. Yeah, set it right here.
I take your class too.
Thank you. All right, thanks. All right. Now that I think everybody's at okay.
Yep.
All right, proclamation. Whereas food insecurity remains a significant challenge affecting individuals and families across Missouri and the nation, with the high cost of housing, food, and other basic needs placing tremendous strain on local food banks and pantries. And whereas according to Feeding America's 2024 data, an estimated 997,750 people in Missouri were food insecure, a 16% statewide rate, up from 951,330 people in 2023. And whereas between 2020 and 2024, food prices in Missouri increased by nearly 24%, further straining household budgets and the resources of local food assistance organizations. And whereas the Clede County schools have identified food insecurity as an ongoing concern, and the Clede County received a No Kid Hungry grant to help address the issue. And whereas food banks and pantries serving the Lebanon community, including L Life Food Pantry, Cross Lines, Community Baptist Church Food Pantry, Market at Life Point, and Project 360 Sound House, Salvation Army Lebanon, and Shepherd Packs provide essential food assistance to thousands of individuals and families each month. And whereas Hunger Action Month, launched nationwide by the Feeding America network of food banks in 2007, raised awareness about hunger and inspires action through donations, volunteering, and advocacy, with communities across the country designating a Hunger Action Day each September to spotlight local anti-hunger efforts. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Jared Carr, City of Lebanon, do hereby proclaim September 2026 and September 29th, 2026 as Hunger Action Month and Hunger Action Day in the City of Lebanon, and urge all residents, businesses, and organizations to